Okay, this is adding, subtracting, and multiplying radicals. So we're just doing our basic operations and see how it functions with our radicals. So on your notebook, on the same one you've been taking all your notes, I want you to call this radicals day 3. So radicals day 3. To get points for today, or to get the worksheet today, you need to have your notes filled in, and then you need to show the sub, and the sub will then give you the worksheet. So you need to write all of these problems down. There's not that many. There's only 5. So you just need to write all 5 of them down. Make sure you show the steps. These are the only examples you have to work with before you get the worksheet. So make sure you write them down. Pause if you need to. So in our first example, we're going to add 3 square roots of 5 plus 2 square roots of 5. Think of square root of 5 like a variable. So think of it like a variable. You can only add / subtract if they are the same. So if it's 2x plus 3x, that's 5x. But if it's 2x plus 3y, you can't add them. So then it would stay the same. So that same type of thing applies with our problems. So we have the same radicals here. So we have both square root of 5. So we can actually add this together. So we can add the coefficients. So 3 plus 2, that is 5. So our final answer is 5 square roots of 5. Okay, our next problem. So we have 4 square roots of 10 plus 3 square roots of 10. Well, first thing you have to do is we need to simplify our radicals. So let's take this piece apart. So if we go on our factor sheet, 90 is equal to 9 times 10. So 3 is equal to 9 times 10. So 3 square roots of 9 times 10. Let's break that apart even more. So we have 3 up front still. So we have the square root of 9 and the square root of 10. Square root of 9 is 3, so we have 3 times 3 times square root of 10. 3 times 3 is 9, so all of this simplifies down to 9 square roots of 10. Last step, though, remember, we need to bring this whole thing down. So we have 4 square roots of 10 plus 9 square roots of 10. We'll add that together. 4 and 9. 4 plus 9 is 13, so we have 13 square roots of 10. So see how we only could add those together once we got them simplified to have the same radical. So that was problem 1. This is problem 2. Now we're going to move on to 3. So if we look at 3, if square root of 10 is as simple as it goes, so let's focus on the square root of 12. Let's see if we can make it simpler. So square root of 12, our factors of 12 are 4 times 3. So in our radical, we can rewrite that as 4 times 3. Now let's split that up. So this is the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. Square root of 4 is 2, so we have 2 square roots of 3. Now let's bring down our other piece. So can't forget that's what we were doing this whole time. So we have 4 square roots of 10 minus 2 square roots of 3. Well, if we look, square root of 3 and square root of 10 are not the same. So square root of 10 is not equal to square root of 3. So can't subtract. So this is our final answer. Let's try our next one. Okay, so now we're on to multiplying. So our first step is to distribute. Let's distribute. So take our square root of 2 and we have to multiply it to both of our terms in here. So we have a couple rules. So you can only multiply if both in a radical or outside of it. So we have 2 both in a radical, so we can multiply these. So this is the same as square root of 20. And then we have plus 4 square roots of 2. See how the 4 is out of a radical and the square root 2 is in a radical? You can't multiply them, so we just write 4 square root of 2, kind of like a variable. We would write 4x, so now we just write 4 square roots of 2. Our square root of 20, though, that can be simplified. So let's simplify this down more. So this is the same as 4 times 5. Let's break that apart. So we have square root of 4 times square root of 5. Square root of 4 is 2, so we have 2 square roots of 5. And let's bring this bad boy all the way down, because remember, we're adding these together. If we look at this, square root of 5 is not equal to square root of 2, so that is our final answer. We can't add them. So can't add them up. My little arrow is weird looking. There we go. Okay, last problem. So this last problem, we need to FOIL. So we're back to multiplying binomials. So remember, we do first, outside, inside, last. So let's do first. So we'll take our first one in each of our binomials and multiply them. So this is the same as 2 times 6. And in our radical, we have 3 times 5. So 2 times 6 is 12. And 3 times 5 is 15. So we have 12 square roots of 15. That's our first. Next, we'll do our outside. So our 2 terms on the outside, that's our O. So we have a negative 4 times 2. And in our radical, we have a 3 times 3. So negative 4 times 2 is a negative 8, and we have square root of 9. Next, we can do our 2 on the inside. So this is kind of like a 1. Oops. Our 1 is right there. So we have a plus 6, because it's only multiplying by 1, so there's nothing really going on there. And then on our radical, we have 5 times 5. So this is plus 6 square root of 25. And our last term we got to do is the last. So last 2 terms in our binomial. So this is the same as, move this down here. So this is the same as a negative 4 times 5 times 3. So we have negative 4 times, and then 5 times 3 is 15. So we have negative 4 square roots of 15. So let's do some simplifying and some combining like terms. So our like terms, now I'm going to move this back to the top, because get it out of the way. Move it back up here. Okay, so now we're on to combine and simplify step. So let's do some simplifying. So square root of 9, that is 3. So this is negative 8 times 3 plus 6, and square root of 25 is 5. So it's negative 6 times 5. So negative 8 times 3 is a negative 24. Plus 6 times 5 is 30. Let's bring our other stuff down. So we have 12 square roots of 15 and negative 4 square roots of 5. Now let's combine. So we have a negative 24 and a 30. Let's add that up. So we have a positive 6. Then we have a similar square root. So square root of 15 can't be any smaller. So let's combine these two, though. So we have 12 minus 4. 12 minus 4 gives us a positive 8. square roots of 15. Okay, so 12 minus 4 is 8, and they both have square root of 15, so can combine. And this is our final answer because we can't get any smaller. So now show your notes to the sub to get your worksheet for the day. If you have questions, I will be back here after school, so I'll be back in here at 3 p.m.